In this development of a Spigot, so on SolidWorks, I started with the top plane, but making sure my dimension is millimeters. So I do the top plane and I do the right click to get that triangle arrow pointing so that I can have it like this. So I click the rectangle command. I use center rectangle. From the midpoints, I get the rectangle. Then I click on smart dimension. At smart dimension, I click the top point there. I edit the dimension to be 26, 25 rather, 25. Then I escape twice. Then I click the other width, the height. I edit the height to be 76. Then I escape twice. Now this for the face. I started from the top. Now I extrude. When I now want to extrude, the height of extrusion is 88 in millimeters. So I'm having this. So with this extrusion now, I enter for the mark grain there. Now for this one, I want to start from the left face. So I want to do the left face to get the left part of the diagram. Then after that, I'll do the right face of the diagram. Now when I click this left face here, so when I click the left face, I right click. When I right click, I click the option that involves that triangle shape with the arrow. So when I do that, it's going to bring this. So now what I'm going to do now, I want to draw a circle, center circle. Now first of all, I will use my line command. Or if I use my circle, I will align the middle of this vertical from here, then the middle of the horizontal from there. Because the middle of the horizontal and the vertical. So where the two intersect, that's where I take my circle from. You can see you must get the points. So when I get the points, as you can see there, I first draw a circle. Then I'm going to edit the radius. So when I drag and I click, then the radius there, which is this down part there, using my arrow there, yeah, that place there, I highlighted them. The radius is 33. So then I enter. When I do that, I escape. So I have my circle. Now I'm going to extrude now. I want to extrude it in a thickness of 12. So I type 12, then I enter. Then I use my mouse to palm. I palm it, then I shift. To palm, I say use the scrolling of your mouse. Instead of scrolling, you press it, then you move your mouse. So you can see that as it comes out. Then I click this top face again. I want to get another figure here. So I will click the top face, which is this place. I right click at this top face. So because I want to get the left part of this diagram. So when I right click, it will bring the menu so that I can also do what I need there also. So I will right click at this face, then I click the triangle and arrow diagram that is going to bring from that menu so that I will have it like this. Now when I now have this, I'm going to use my circle command again. Now I already have the midpoints, which is from here. So here you can see it will highlight on its own. You have to make sure it's the exact one. So you can see it highlights based on the former circle I've done. So when I click it, I will just drag it to get, I know it's going to be a smaller circle. But now the radius of that one is, the diameter is 48, radius will be 24. So I will take 24, then I enter. Now the next thing now, I will now, what's next? I will take my rectangle, center rectangle. When I click it at this point, at the midpoint, then I just drag it to the edge of the circle as I have it from there. The dimension will be accurately what I need. Now, the next thing, don't forget, I'm doing a Spigot. So the next thing I want to do is to extrude the outer parts. Now, at the extrusion, I will click the place I want to extrude. This part that you see there, this small place, then the small place at the right, then the middle center there. The extrusion is 64. I type 64 at the measurement part at the left hand side there. So when I type 64, I highlight, then I type 64, I enter. When I enter, I'll use my mouse to palm to know the direction it's going. And as you can see, I have it already. Then I mark. If the dimension is not what is needed, then you will see an arrow beside the blind. So instead of going it like this one, click the arrow beside the blind, it will change the direction. Now I'm having this place now. Now I need this hollow part at this left hand part there that goes inward, as you can see from the diagram at the upper right corner there. So when I click this place, I right click to get the menu for to get this shape, that triangle and arrow, so that I can get it looking at the space of the figure. Now I'm going to use my line command so that I can get the center for the circle. So my line command, you can see I firstly draw the line. Then I use my smart dimension to change the dimension of the line, by which I mean the midpoint of the line, which you have there, to be 26. When I do 26, automatically you can see what happens. The line increased forward. Now, what I need now, I will just take my circle command, because I already know the circle will be centralized and at that 26. So I take my circle command, my center circle, or normal circle command. Now I highlight from this point of the line to the center of the figure as I have it there. As you can see, when I do that, I'll just draw a circle. You can see it intersect up and down. So just draw a circle, then edit the radius. So the radius is 6 because the diameter is 12. So that's what I have there. Then I will remove this line. I click that line and delete. Now from this circle now, I will just extrude cuts because I need a O at that place. So to extrude these cuts, just take a dimension that is more than the thickness of this place. So I just type 64. I just type any dimension like 40 or 64. So it's going to cut through the diagram just from there. So when I mark, it will cut through. So I have the O at the left hand side. So what remains now for me to do is to go over to the right hand side now. Now at the right hand side, what is being needed? It's so at the right hand side, I'm going to click the face that I have at the right hand side now. Now at the face at the right hand side, which we are going to see from there, um I will palm it. What the way I'm able to move this is by palming, but noting the shadow that I have done to know how the diagram is. So when I palm it, I want to start the diagram from, let me see, we have to get the outer part of the spigot. Now we've gotten the left part. What remains is the right hand side. So I palm, so I'm starting from this face. So I right click, then I click that triangle arrow. You see that triangle arrow from the menu, so that we have this place. Now I'm going to use my rectangle command. Now with my rectangle command, I think I use is it center? Yeah, center rectangle. So I started from the center so that I can get the center of this face. You can see what I did there. Center rectangle. So I'll need it to from up there. I will firstly get the rectangle first. Now, what I need now, I need that rectangle. First of all, I will change the dimension of the rectangle part there. I use smart dimension and I click the upper part. So I need to change the dimension for the rectangle. So smart dimension. So with smart dimension, I will click the other upper part because the dimension there is I think 32. So the dimension is 32. So I click smart dimension. Yeah, smart dimension. Then I click the top part there. Then I edit the dimension at these parameters and I type 32. I enter. But when I do that, you can see it's not centralized. If yours is centralized, you continue, but it's not centralized. So what can I do? I will use line to try to. So I'm going to use my line command. So I highlight this place, then I draw my line. I didn't draw it there, I just highlight it. Now, after getting the line now, I will now try to move the entity. Now, when I move entity, I click from the center of this rectangle. When I click once, then I try to highlight the center of this line. Automatically on its own, I just jog it to my right, it's going to move. You can see that it's exact what I need. So you can just go through it, you can get the actual place I need there. So I'm trying to check the dimension. Is it accurate? Yes, 22. At the right hand side, is it accurate? From there to there is 22 plus 32, that's 54. So my dimension is correct. So then I'm going to proceed to the next part of what I need. So I remove the line, I click the line and I delete it. Now, next thing, I want to extrude this line out. Now, to extrude it out, I'm going to go to my features. So I go to my features, then I click extruded base. Now, the distance of extrusion, when I do my calculation, total distance, everything is 220.5. So 20.5, I took it away from 12, from 64, from 12, from 25. Then I was able to get, um, I used calculator actually. So I was able to get a dimension that's 20.5 minus the sum of 64, 12, and 25. Like, yeah, minus the sum of 64, 12, and 25. So that's what I used and entered for the extrusion. So I got, what did I do there? I got 79. I got 79. So my extrusion there is 79. So I used 79 for the extrusion. So I extruded that rectangle, then I extruded in a distance of 79, and that's what I have. I palm it to see what I have there, which you can see. But that's not what I need yet. So I need to trim out some things. Now, go with me as I do the next part. Now, to get the actual face, I click this face, then I right click. I use the triangle and the arrow menu that it brought. Now, from this part now, zooming it in, I will use my circle command. Yeah, that's what I did, right? Yeah, I think so. So I use my circle command. But before I use my circle command, I need to get the center for the circle. Now, to get the center of the circle, it's at a particular distance, but I'll use my line command. So I go to sketch. Okay. I go to sketch. Yeah, I click my line command. So from there, I try to highlight, then I click, I got my line. My line has to be accurate. So I try to Ctrl Z. The line here is slants. So I did it again. My line command, if you just type L, you get a line command. Then I get the line to making sure it's horizontal. Now I escape. When you do your line, the line will still do as if it want to continue. But I escape it. You click escape on your keyboard. Then I click my smart dimension. From smart dimension, I click the line again. The dimension of the line, I want it to be the diameter of the circle is 50, R is 25. So I type 25. But you can see the line goes from the edge of the space there. So I click the line at this place, then I move it. If you just click it, holding my mouse, you can see what I have there. So just click that point, then holding my mouse to highlight it to this edge. Now, next thing now is just for me to take my circle command. It will give me my center that I need. So my circle command, when I click my circle, I will start from this point of 25 there to the center of this figure. Okay. So from the point there to the center of the figure, you can see it highlight itself, which is from here, then to the center. It's not yet. You must make sure the line shows that you have the blue line, as you can see there now. So once that is done, I click, then I click to the edge of this place. The circle is already accurate. It's already a diameter of 15, radius 25. You can see down there at that parameter that is already 25. Now, the next thing now for me to do is to get a a line that is tangential. So I start from this point. I just my line command from there to this edge. I escape. Then down also line command again. I type L, click L from your keyboard. Then from these down parts, yes, to this other edge here, click, then escape also. Escape. Now, the next thing for me to do is to extrude. Now, I want to extrude some parts, meaning I want to cut out some parts. So going to use extruded cuts so that I can get what I need, so that it look like that diagram. So I click on extruded cuts. When I click on extruded cuts, it will ask me where do I want to cut. So I will click this place and this down parts. Once I do that, the thickness doesn't matter, but okay, I know the thickness is 32, right? So I just type 32, then I enter. So then when I enter, I now click that green mark. The thickness is 32 then. So it's cut out that shape, as you can see there. Now cutting out that shape, you can see what I have. Now, but my circle here has disappeared. So I try to take my circle command again. Dimension there is 79. So I try to take my circle command again. Uh, I did Ctrl Z, but it's not supposed to bring that. So I did Ctrl Y again. Okay, I cut this one once again. So just showing you what I just did there. So I cut at that place. So I take my circle command again. Mhm. So my circle command, I try to highlight to get the center of the circle. So I get the circle again from there to the edge of this arc that we have here. Now, after getting my circle, I use extrude base or extrude bosses. So I want to extrude in a distance of the thickness there 44 minus 32, that's 12. So distance of 12. I use my mouse to palm and look at what I have. The direction is accurate. Then I mark, green mark. So I have this thickness here. But now we also have a C-ball O inside this place. You can see it from the diagram. A C-ball O is also inside there. So I will use my circle command again. At sketch, circle command. Then from the center of the circle there, okay, I get just any radius, then I highlight the radius. The new circle is of radius. What's the radius? So the C-ball O is of radius of, so I type the radius for my keyboard, radius 16, because the diameter is 32. So when I do that, I enter, then I mark. Automatically I have that. Then I extruded cut. I want to extrude cut, but it's having a particular depth of what? 3 mm. So I type just 3. You can see the direction is accurate. If it's not accurate, you click that arrow beside the bind. So that's what I have. I mark it, then look at the C-ball O. Now, after the C-ball O, there's another circle again, a O that goes all the way through. Circle command again. I start from the same center. So I click the same center. I draw a small circle at first, then I edit the radius. Now, when I edit the radius, this inner one is of diameter of 12. So if the diameter of 12, that means the radius is 6. So the next thing I do here, you can see what I have there. At first, I have a larger circular part, a larger circular one, which is of diameter 50, that's radius 25. Then a smaller one, a C-ball O of diameter 30, diameter 36, or 32, which is radius 16. Is that what I did? I think so. Then the other one, the smaller one now, is of diameter 12, which is of radius of 6. So at first, I'm going to draw a small circle. Now, with this small circle now, will now give me the O that I need. Now, after getting the small circle now, I mark a point. Now, the radius is 6. So I'm going to type 6 at these parameters. I enter. Now, the next thing I will do now is to extrude cut. I want to extrude it as a cut. Now, the depth, I just type any depth longer than the thickness of what I have. The thickness of what I have there will be around 40 or something, or 30 something. But I just type, what did I use? I type 15. Now, when I use my mouse to palm, you can see the direction. It goes all through. So once I mark it, I have the O. Let's go it back. Let's check it. So that's what we have. But now we are not done with it yet. In the diagram, we have to specify some fillets, some radius of 4. Is it 4? Yeah. some radius that we can use. So to fillet some parts. Now to fillet some part means to get a yeah to get a curved edge. Now there's a little fillet at this edge here. It's about 1, 2, 3 parts. Now this is what to do. I click my fillets, then my radius is 4. I will edit my radius first, then I click this point. Okay, my radius is 6. So I edit my radius there at 6 with the arrow, then I click that point. Then you can see what I have. Then I do the same thing at this place also. Fillets, click on fillets. You see it at features, click on fillets. Then my radius is already 6. If it's not 6, you edit it to be 6. Then I will click on the edge also. I've done that part. Now the other edge, just click on this other edge, this one. Once you do it, then click your arrow. Automatically on its own, it's going to fillet. Now the last part, I also need the fillet at this place. So I'll go to my features again. I'll click fillet. When I click fillet, the radius is already there. So just click this edge, then mark. So all the points have been fillets. So this is what we have as a Spigot. So these are the development of the Spigot and in the SolidWorks. I'm using SolidWorks version 2021. So this is what I was able to get using the software. So this is it in 3 dimension. Then I use my mouse to pan to show you all the sides. So this is how we get it in. You can use this method for any diagrams or any figures for you to get your structure. Then from here, I now try to convert it back to orthographic projection. This gives me in my 3 dimensional figure. So from 3 dimensional figure, I can get my 2 dimensional figure from here for almost about 10 or 12 different uh, views, both from front, top, right hand side, left hand side, auxiliary, and co. So I click at this file there beside the SolidWorks and I click make drawing from parts. When I click at make drawing from parts, I select my templates. My drawing template, I think I use A4 landscape. So at A4 landscape, I'm having this. So I bring all the necessary stuff from the palette. The palette is as this right hand side, the different colors and the one above there. That you see your palette there from that 5 stuff at the right hand side there. Then I use it to select the 3 things. I align them, then I put the dimensions. So you can go through the dimensioning, then I use my smart dimension. Smart dimension is used to add all the dimension. So that's all we have for this diagram and for this structure. Do follow me for more exciting diagrams and structures.
Faithful through the ages, God of Abraham, you're the God of covenant and faithful promises. Time and time again, you have proven you'll do just what you said. Though the storms may come and the winds may blow, I'll remain steadfast and let my heart learn when you speak a word, it will come to pass. Great is your faithfulness to me. Great is your faithfulness to me. From the rising sun to the setting same, I will praise your name. Great is your faithfulness.